The original intention of the film was just for my personal use, but I thought, with it being such a unique thing, that I'd like to offer it to anybody who wants to see it. On the first visit, Jack took us into his another room, a separate room, and there were these brown parcels full of artwork piled up, and he said to me, "You draw like I do." We were in the studio for 5 hours, you know, it was fantastic, and there's this, he's got this desk, and everything he's ever drawn has come from this desk, and then I would just go with the flow, and that's what this film is about. It's just a unique film of him.
He says, "I beat you." He says, "They say we came in under the dead heat." He says, "That's not true because I beat you." And the American said, "Well," he says, "if you like to think so," he says, "but I know the real story." He says, I know I clearly won that one." See? Well, Joe is 6'3", and I was a run, see, from the Lower East Side. And being Joe's partner was an advantage to me because Joe was believable, you know. They would talk to Joe, and the Goodman brothers would get to know him. Martin Goodman owned Marvel at that time. He went to his mother and he says, "Look, Jackie got a job drawing." He says, "They're paying him part, they're paying him money for drawing." He says, "Suppose I go with Jackie." He says, and he says, "They'll pay me money." He says, "I'll draw and they'll pay me money." He said, "I'll give the money to you," which we did. We gave it all to our mothers. They called me from Nassau. You know, I lived in Long Island. And they say, "Would you like to come down and draw these guys in training?" I swear, this is not a story. And I said, "Yes, of course, I'd love to come down." And,
Secrets, trust, worth. The bond between souls intertwined within otherworldly intrigue. Michaela Jade brings forth the Elite Warrior series, a collection of dark fantasy romance novels set in a twisted world where power lusts in the hearts of men and devotion seduces the souls of women. Warrior's Secret, Warrior's Trust, and Warrior's Worth. Available now at authormichaelajade.com.
Nothing unusual about a 4 a.m. call to a back alley in downtown Kenton. A young woman lying pristine and unmarked on the cold, hard ground. I get to work quickly, but there's not much to go on here. No marks of any kind, no signs of struggle, just a dead Vic in the middle of an alley. And then there's that. Dead body in a dumpster that looks like a grizzly bear has crawled its way out of his stomach.
Author Cindy Kep is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Koepp at CKOEPP.com today.
The City of Prosperity. Riches for some. But for the masses, scraping by is all they can do. Meet Bitna. It's a hard life with an even harder reality. Living in the roughest part of town, it looks impossible to make it big. But maybe she will find it in a simple dress. The Radiant Sight, a new romance story by Martin Fisher.
From author Brian K. Morris comes a tale of irreverent holiday horror, told with much inappropriate humor. Dr. Victor Frankenstein creates the spirit of giving himself. Ho, ho, ho! Santa-Stein, or the Post-Holiday Prometheus. Available at Amazon.com. Get your copy today.
In a world ravaged by monsters, a new evil has risen, poisoning the land and threatening humanity. Now, the Monster Matador, along with the meanest and baddest kaiju killers, have joined forces to kick its ass. Monster Matador, Afropocalypse.
The following broadcast is brought to you by these sponsors. Launched today.
Madness Comic Network and comic-related madness proudly presents This Madness Comic Network Special Edition. All guests and campaigns receive the Madness Seal of Approval. Tune in to our content on Comic Talk with Pops Van Zandt on YouTube.
What's up? I'm here right now with Mr. Jack Lloyd. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, how's it going, Pops? I'm doing great.
This guy's really patient. He sat through that whole thing in the backstage.
I got the whole movie trailer preview. I was like, okay, wow, I got a lot of trailers here. I'm like, cool.
Well, I take advantage of that 10 minutes that StreamYard or Facebook or whichever it is lets you start early. And I figure I can start my show right at the top of the hour and I can get all these commercials in ahead of time. So
yeah,
everybody knows if they don't want to watch the commercials, they just wait till the top of the hour, tune in. What is up? We got some person in the chat. We got some person. And we have a General Piggy. What's going on, guys? This one's new. Look, I hate when this happens, Jack. Okay? I've been doing this for a couple years now, and the ones that kill me the most are the ones I find out about the day before it's over. Yours is one of those. I found out, I saw you on RJ the other day, and it's like, it's almost over. And I had never seen it before. So I'm going to get right into showing this to people, and you can tell everybody what we're looking at, man, because there's no time. There's no time to mess around. This one's here. It's now. And we need to know about it. What's up with this?
Awesome. No, I really appreciate you having me on. I know it was just last minute. You're like, oh, wait, it's about to end. I'm like, yeah, well, let's go ahead and just do a show and talk about it. It'll be lots of fun. So I am Jack Lloyd. I am the producer and author of Voluntarius, the comic series. And it's a comic series that's been actually running now for about 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
And this is the first time you see what I'm saying? I'm big on self-promotion. Jack, you got to talk about yourself more, but yeah.
Well, I definitely have come to realize the value of especially networking and getting out there with lots of people, especially, comicsgate people, because I'm one of those people who's one of those really early on, I guess you could say people were exiting out and doing things differently, way right back in the day. So for me, it's always just been, cool to see everybody who's been a part of kind of just self-funding and doing their own projects. And, I think of Ethan there and, in Cyberfrog, like I was there when he was doing his first stuff, and so on and so forth. So it's been really cool to actually watch the indie community, especially the ones exiting out of the dumb stuff that's coming out of Disney and Marvel and DC these days to come up with something new and refreshing instead of just, changing the race or the sexual orientation of a character and just trying to repackage it and sell it. So it's been really cool to be a part of that.
There's people like Gabe Altiev and you who definitely came right back at you. Can't ruin our heroes like that. These are American heroes with American values. And you know what I mean? It was like, I love that because they really do not respect the source material on the stuff that's coming out of the mainstream now. We all know that. It's not,
right.
It's not a secret. They don't care. And
right.
they don't realize that those empires were built on the wallets of the fans who do care.
Right. 100% agree. I think it's kind of a spitting in the face of all the people who've been longtime fans to just kind of, destroy those core character values and kind of, makeups of them. It's one thing to have like deviation issues just for fun, like a little special series, but to say you're just going to, redo the whole thing and then basically scrap everything that makes the character, especially like you think Superman and changing his motto from being true justice the American way.
Yeah, that pissed Gabe off, didn't it?
Yeah.
Gabe, right? Gabe Altiev?
I think I heard of him casually maybe on RJ's show.
He was the artist that checked out of DC when they did that. He's like, oh no. And he made a very famous quote that he doesn't want to be famous for, so I won't repeat it.
Yeah.
But he made a quote that he has become famous for, and he was on Fox TV and everything talking about how, you just don't do that to Superman. What can I say? Truth, justice, and the American way has always been, small town Clark Kent, right? Smallville, right? He wasn't, Mr. International, whatever. He was a small town American kid. He had small town American values, and so he turned out to be Superman. That doesn't change how he was brought up, and proves upbringing has a lot to do with who you are, right? So I want to watch this video. You want to give us a little setup to who your characters are before we do it, or does it do it for us?
Yeah, I can give just a little quick synopsis of the series, because right now, what you're seeing here on screen is the 6th Origins issue. So the origin story is the canon chronology. This is the official canon of the main character's story of coming to be, in terms of why he's doing what he's doing, the kind of the staging of the environment, and what kind of stresses and conflicts are facing him. So we're currently funding this last issue that's a part of the origin story, as well as the TPB, the trade paperback. So we're putting together the 1 through 6 issues into a single volume that will have a remastered cover. So this campaign is a little bigger than what I'm used to doing, because it actually is kind of a bigger project with remastering the 1st and 2nd issues too, because that company that we're working with went defunct, and so we want to have the current primary penciler redo those, do a little bit better of the lettering, kind of spacing things out. But it's going to be a beautifully remastered origin story, chronology, with a chronology of exactly what goes down as far as the protagonist's story goes. So the story is kind of set, not in a specific time, but kind of like somewhat present day. And the story tells about a character named Jack, who just recently graduated from college and is about to, go onto the working world after getting his mechanical engineering degree. But his father ends up having a hip injury and needs surgery. And so he decides to come home and help out at his family farm until his father can recover, so he can get back to managing things. And while he's there, there's this cosmic event that causes a bunch of changes in different people. And this cosmic event not only changes some things with people, but also with some creatures too. And in the process, the government comes after him, basically trying to see exactly who was affected by this cosmic event. And it's revealed that the government was essentially about to have a type of false flag event where they are going to suggest that some type of alien invasion was taking place so that they can further enslave humanity once and for all.
Right.
And in this process, Jack doesn't wish to be a part of the government's plan here, and so he escapes and refuses this, and then is helped by another guy named Mac Lee, who's a Black Ops defector, who comes to aid him. And so they kind of work together, first to rescue Jack's parents, because the government takes his parents as collateral, and also to see exactly what's going on, with the potential event and genetic things going on, where there might be something that springs up genetically because of someone's proclivity for being changed. And they also try to stop the government's plans for enslaving humanity once for all. So that's kind of a short end of that, just kind of the bare bones of the story. But it's much more involved, I guess you could say, than that. And it really touches on the question of what does it mean to be truly free.
And what era is this based in?
So pretty much around modern day. So something that you'd say would be in the, close to modern.
All right, cool. Let's go ahead and play this trailer. I have to mute myself or we get the echo.
Hey, ready for this? Sure we're gonna make it. Gotta give it a shot. 3, 2, 1, go!
Voluntarist, the comic series. Origin 6 comic campaign now live. Join in with the #1 comic book series for liberty. It's the 10th anniversary, and we're going big with a collector's edition trade paperback.
Hello, Voluntarius fans. It's Jack
and Fa here, and we're celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Voluntarius comic series.
This is the biggest Voluntarius production to date, as we're not only looking to make the 6th and final issue in the Voluntarius Origins arc, but we're also looking to remaster the 1st and 2nd issues to bring the entire Origin series into a single, uniform trade paperback title.
With the creation of the trade paperback, Voluntarius will have a start-to-finish arc in longer book format with a remastered wraparound cover. To reach this monumental feat, we need to achieve a higher than usual funding level to cover the cost of production of what is essentially 3 different issues, with Origins 6 and the Origins 1 and 2 remasters.
This is a project you'll definitely want to back, as it's taking the Voluntarius universe to the next level with an offering that can reach a more mainstream audience.
So, if you would please, head on over to the Indiegogo perk bar and see how you can jump in with us as we continue the canon Voluntarius storyline.
There's plenty of great perks too, from signed print copies to game cards and art cards.
And if you have a product, business, or show to promote, we have plenty of room for advertisement in this Origin 6 issue.
Thank you everyone so much for helping make Voluntarius such a wild success over these past 10 years, especially with reaching over 100% of goal on our last 4 campaigns.
Let's set the bar for the next arc and continue to make Voluntarius the #1 comic book series for Liberty.
See you on Indiegogo!
Oh, you're still muted.
Where's the rap video? What's up? RJ wants the rap video.
So, in addition to doing comic book things, we also are, I guess you could say, vocal artists, and we have music videos and other music that we've done. So some people know of our work through that music, and we just had a recent release called "I Did Not Consent," which is a music video that we produced. It's kind of a wild ride. So he might be talking about that music video.
So he's asking you to play the video?
I'm not sure which one.
Or share it with us, or give us a link so I can play it, or something.
Yeah. I mean, I could probably play it directly through.
Yeah, do it
here if I can. Because I think
we try to please our fans. They ask for something, we try to deliver. You know.
Yeah, if you want to see the music video, let me see here. I can just pull it right up. And
hi, Rose. What's happening?
Okay, so I have the music video there.
Yo, just being real right now, I did not sign on to jack shit. I did not consent. I did not consent. I did not consent. I did not consent.
I did not consent to all these evil, endless wars. And I did not consent to you robbing me for the poor. And I did not consent to the drug wars prohibition, the mass incarceration, crony clandestine vision. And I did not consent to throwing children into prisons. They call it public schools, really state as superstitions. And I did not consent to the phony Fed Reserve, fiat forced to fill the bankers' pockets undeserved. And I did not consent to the taxes on my land, a neo-feudal slavery of serfs by the tax man. And I did not consent to a draft or conscription. My body's not your property for military missions.
I do not consent. I will not be silenced. These stated shackles cannot stop my liberation sirens. I do not consent. I will not be silenced. These stated shackles cannot stop my liberation sirens.
That's an admission. Fight tyrants to the death. Fuck being enslaved on a prison planet complex. The info war that's for your mind, your body, soul, and status. Waged by pedo politicians, whole world ravaged. I did not consent to the nasty no-knock raids. Murder of Duncan Lemprey on a Taylor and the babes. I did not consent to victimless crime laws. The innocent locked up over milk and straws. I did not consent to Operation Mockingbird, MK Ultra experiments and fake news blurbs. And I did not consent to being ruled by a few. Different sets of standards, one for them, one for you.
I do not consent. I will not be silenced. These stated shackles cannot stop my liberation sirens. I do not consent. I will not be silenced. These stated shackles cannot stop my liberation sirens.
I will not comply with the new world order, the system of obedience, liberty subverter. And I will not comply with shutdown threats. Life's not worth living in a cave with no That's right, this world is ruled by a bunch of sick psychopaths. You think voting's gonna change that? Ha! Think again. You gotta change minds, you gotta change the culture, you gotta stay strapped 24/7. This is our last chance. Take a stand.
Yo, no, I love that. You don't even have to ask. Everybody watching knows I love that. They don't even have to ask. I did a little something like that myself last year. I dropped a link in the Twitter inbox thing over there that we were chatting in. You can check it out later. You'll like it.
So yeah, as you saw, that was one of our music videos that we just did recently. And at the end, you probably saw there's a little kind of connection there with our super suits to this character from Voluntarius. You probably saw that we had on super suits and energized up. So that was actually a little kind of teaser Easter egg at the end of that music video there, just showing off what was coming up next. So with a lot of the work we do, we like to cross over our different mediums of expression and get people to see what we're doing. So
I dig the David Letterman background.
the cityscape, yeah.
What city is that we're overlooking? What is it?
Oh, that I don't even know. It's just yeah.
You got to play it up. Oh man,
right,
it's Cleveland or whatever.
I don't even. What's cool enough? So.
She said, "Do a rock version." It doesn't matter. You know that.
We do have some other styles of music. We actually do a whole variety of music. We've done like 80s style music. We've done hard like heavy metal music. We've done rap. We've done kind of like singing emo music. So we do actually a wide variety of things. We do more than just one genre. So
yeah, mine is like I don't know how to rap, but I can talk. Okay. So I kind of talked, and some other people put music, and we have actual somebody singing the chorus, but it's just me talking. I don't know.
Spoken word poetry.
Yeah. I mean, when I wrote it, I didn't expect people to want to put music to it and make a video and all that stuff. It happened. So
yeah, that's awesome.
What can I say? But yeah, let's get back into this, man. Cause, first, I got to tell you, okay, when I joined the military when I was 17 years old, I had to have my parents sign me off, right? I wasn't even old enough to go in, right? The first thing they told me when I got off the plane in San Diego, the very first thing they said to me was, never again. No, they said, do you know what Navy stands for? And we're all standing there going, huh? What? No. And it was this little Filipino guy, maybe 5'2", right? And he's just yelling at everybody, and he's got a very thick Philippine accent. You can't understand half of what he's saying. And one of the things he liked to say a lot was, "Can you not understand English?" But he said the first thing to us that never again volunteer yourself.
Yeah. I like that one. That's a good one.
You're about to go through boot camp hell. Don't do this again. Never do this again. So tell us a little bit about where this, how this comes about. What made you do this? I know you said you kind of broke from the mainstream way back when. Geez, I don't want to bring up any kind of bad memories or anything, but what did you do? Like, who did you work for in the mainstream that pissed you off?
Yeah, for me, the main thing here was I was working on my finishing up my legal studies, you could say, preparing for the bar when I was in law school, and I wanted to create a series that really incorporated my love of liberty and human freedom. And I was working on a film script at first, thinking, this could be something interesting that maybe I could do. But as I developed it more, I realized this is going to require too much money. Making something good, animated or real, it's a little too expensive off the bat. So I said, okay, what could I do to adapt this to make it, something that's quality but is more accessible? So I decided to switch to the comic book medium for the story, because that kind of goes between having the kind of graphic novel thing or the written word and, the film thing, because you have both the visual, the art, and you have the text to read. So it kind of was the perfect balance for me, almost like storyboarding for a movie. So then I started to work toward that end and hired artists to do the initial concept drawings. And then I just kind of ran with it, even though, I didn't have experience with crowdsource fundraising or anything like that before. I just was like, okay, well, I'm going to try it and see what goes. And I did. And I was able to kind of work hard and learn along the way. Obviously, I made some mistakes, learned a lot about, what's the best way to focus and get things done, progressing and so on and so forth. And then, now 12 campaigns later, I'm at this wonderful, trade paperback Origins series that's already past the second stretch goal. So it's been a lot of fun growing and learning along the way. But that was kind of it. Was, I just really had this passion for Liberty and also for comics and for cosplay. I had, even dressed up for most of the major films, Batman films, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, Lord of the Rings. I've even been an MC at an anime convention kind of thing. So it's just always been kind of a fun passion of mine. And I just found this to be the best way to integrate those passions and to put it into something I really would enjoy.
Do you like Liberty comic books, Rock? What kind of, hey, really? Oh, you must still be mad at Captain America, huh? Are you mad at what they did to Cap? You're not even going to talk to me today, are you? Jeez. Usually he comes down here, he won't shut up. I give him the microphone and he walks away and doesn't say anything. He's just laying over there running.
Yeah. Still tired.
Yeah, no, he's probably mad about Captain America. I'm just saying. This is about another one that's better, guys. What is up, Glenn Fleming? If you saw at the beginning the Jack Kirby book, in DVD in the trailer in the trailer roll at the beginning, that's this guy.
Oh,
Glenn Fleming did that.
Yeah, that looked really interesting. I like seeing the clips of him being interviewed. That was cool.
It was like, it kind of wasn't even like an interview. It was just like they were hanging out with Jack.
Right.
Like had lunch with him, kicking by the pool. And it wasn't like, it's like Glenn said in that video, it's like it just kind of went with the flow. I let him talk about whatever he wanted to talk about.
Wow.
It doesn't cover any of that political crap that went on in Marvel. None of that stuff. It's just Jack telling stories. It's cool. I have it, so I've watched that video about 8 times now. I ain't gonna lie. It's different than any other footage you'll ever see of Jack Kirby. That's all.
Yeah.
And the book's awesome too. I've read about half of it, Glenn. About half of it now. So, this right here though, look, you started off. Oh man. How many now? Is this the first 30 days?
So I run my campaigns for 60 days. So we hit 100% of funding within the first 30. And now we're just, about 2 days left. And we're pretty close to, moving toward that third stretch goal, because we already broke 2 stretch goals. And those stretch goals involved a art print, a bonus game card, and also remastering 2 covers or doing, I guess you could say, variant covers on 2 covers. So
very nice art. Who's the artist? The artist right there, the interior art. Who's that?
He's a Dickie. So he's a great artist who I've been working with for a number of years. He's awesome.
That's great. I love that. I love the line work.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a long process too, of course, with different artists over the years. I mean, I've worked with probably 50 different artists on various elements, from both physical products to, art prints to the actual comics and things like that. And I found over time that my favorite way to work with artists is just directly. So I worked on my own at first, and I worked with some middlemen, comic production companies, and I didn't really like that arrangement. So I ended up going back to just working directly with the artist myself. And I have some graphic design skills. So I've been doing like the lettering on the last few issues. I'm going to be doing the lettering on these issues here. And, the other artists I work with, I love, they're great. So I've been working with them for a long time.
I'm going to offer you something that I offer to everybody. Do you Facebook at all, Jack?
Yeah. We have a Facebook page for the series too. I think we have almost 8,000 fans there, so it's pretty cool.
Okay, see, you got more people on your fan page than I have in my Facebook group, but my Facebook group is all about networking and promotion.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's a place where you can actually go tell people what you're doing and post your link to your campaign, and nobody's going to go, hey, man, don't do that here, man. No, that's exactly it's what everything I do now grew out of. It all started in that Facebook group.
Oh, that's awesome.
We didn't when we started that group, we did this. We came out, people would make videos and go, look what I got today. You know, and that was all the group was a bunch of fans and creators. You know, Brian Polito was one of the very first people to join the group. He was one of the founding members. Michael Monty Moore. There's, you know, a bunch of just awesome Greg Horn, a whole bunch of people that joined the madness like right in the beginning that were already established creators, you know, wow. And a lot of fans. People that followed me from another group that I, for some reason, got kicked out of, but we won't go there. I think it was for promoting people too much. I'm pretty sure, you know, because that's all I do is share everybody's links and try to get eyes on what you guys do. That's my job, you know.
All right.
And I take it pretty seriously because I spend a lot of time doing it. I don't know if you're familiar with how I spent the last weekend.
No. I have no idea, actually. I was at a wedding this past weekend, so I have no idea.
I do a show called CromCon.
Oh, okay.
Every month, where I come out the last weekend of the month, and I go from noon to midnight showing one creator after another, interviewing different people. We have panels, we have an open draw stream, all kinds of stuff. It's a weekend event once a month. I just did my 26th con this last weekend.
Awesome.
And I have a show called Monday Madness, obviously, day after, because, you know, got to have overflow for the people who miss out. So I started Friday night, and this is my last show for a couple days. I'm getting out of this freaking chair. But we haven't done a special edition for somebody in a long time. What is up, Brian Kriskow, Six Gun Gorilla? I don't know if you're familiar with Brian. CG, Six Gun Gorilla. Preston Acevedo did the cover for number 8 and the interior for number 8.
Wow.
On his book. So if you know, there's a whole bunch of CG people we got to get you introduced to, and people that are just don't care. They just like good comics. They don't care.
Right.
You know. Oh man, here we go with the sex bots again. Jeez.
Yeah.
Nobody invited you.
Annoying.
Nobody invited you guys. I'm serious. Nobody. We don't want you. Don't care. There's sites for that to care about what you're doing. Go hawk your crap over there. Actually, I did a little experiment. And clicked on one of them links this morning because you know how like sometimes they'll hit your comments
right
in your video after it's over.
Right.
You know, like later on they'll hit your comments. I clicked on 2 of them today, and both of them went to site under construction. I'm like, come on, YouTube. If you're going to partner up with these people, at least make them send you to a real place.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Finish it. That's fine.
You know, obviously, they have to be partnered up with the people doing this. Because, you know, they can shut down anything anywhere, but they can't shut those down. Come on.
It'll be fresh and recreated accounts. So,
yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I'm not a fan of the porn bots. Okay, there's shows that actually focus on sex stuff, and you'd probably be welcome there. You know, but
more than
being one of them. But I'm just, like I said, you got 2 days left. You got a 60-day campaign. You've done this for 10 years. This is the first time I've heard about this book was when you were on RJ show.
Yeah, well, I mean, because a lot of my focus has, in terms of where this is mostly service to over the years, I had it more focused toward people who are in my circles for like Liberty promotion, that type of stuff. But over time, of course, I've been able to grow that audience and get more and more interest from people who just continually get tired of what's happening with Amazon and Netflix and Disney, you know, and DC, because again, all they're doing is trying to put in their woke politics at the forefront and at the expense of the characters. And I guess, at least for me, it'd be less annoying if they just came up with new characters and create, with just new shows, right? At least make something unique and make something your own. It's like, and then own it. It's like, okay, whatever. But again, it's when they destroy these classic characters with, great stories and, really specific virtues to what makes them them, that it's very frustrating. And that's why there's just been so many people who have been, exiting and developing their own things. And I just love to see that. It makes me so happy because, for years, I was one of the few people doing this, especially going back 2012, 2013, 2014, it was just burgeoning. And now there's so many creators who have, left that paradigm and are providing a meaningful alternative to what's being shown, and I look at stuff like, Invincible, right? Kirkman did a great job with that series. Amazon took it and they took it to the next level of woke, even though Kirkman was himself, more, you could say, progressive leftist, whatever. I mean, he was, good writing, amazing artwork. I love that series. It's actually one of my favorite, comics of all time. Definitely an inspiration up there with, like Alan Moore and Watchmen. But it's just gotten to a point where it's like, you need an alternative. You need something different that's changing the beat from all these stories and something new. And I think that's kind of what Voluntarius brings. And this is what I point out to a lot of people, is that most of your historical comics are often focusing on government as being the savior, or if there's something bad, it's just, they got a couple bad apples or something like that, just need to be fixed. But ultimately, the nature of the state is elevated and worshipped, and to the point of even having many characters, want to become president or support the president kind of thing, or, that kind of ordeal. And this series really turns it on its head with challenging the very nature of the state, but not in a preachy anything, way of anything of that sort. It's actually just a regular comic story in that way, but it has a much different basis for what is right and wrong. It has a much different kind of backdrop as to the nature of the state. And I think that delivers something that is sorely missing from the mainstream. It's something that really you just don't see out there.
Yeah, there's not a lot. But I do want to say, though, there are quite a few people, since I started doing this, there's quite a few people that I found that distanced themselves from the mainstream a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
My friends, lots of friends like Mike Barron, used to do the Punisher, and now he's just all indie, right? Everything he's doing is indie. He quit doing mainstream quite a while ago. You got, just there are quite a few. Hart Fisher, Frank Forte, Don Chin, people that have been doing indie comics for a long, long time. That just, weren't going to play that game that got out of it a long time ago and just been doing their thing. And now we get to really show off what they're doing. I have a lot of Spider-Man comics. That would not be one of them.
Right. Well, that's what I like doing. Part of my work and what I do when I talk about my comics, I like actually showing people the real history of comics and like how they've been used. Because sometimes people will say, oh, well, I don't like political themes in my comics, or I don't like anything that, is too edgy like that. I just want the story. But I try to remind people that in every single story, there is something political, or there's something, ethical, moral about it in terms of what do they show as being right versus wrong? What's the mission of the characters? What's seen as acceptable? What's seen as not? And I would say for much of comic book history, most comic books actually have some type of political tones to them or support. And if you go back in time, of course, you're going to have stuff like with Superman being specifically a part of the war propaganda. If you're talking about World War II, if you go back to Marvel's original comics, they would have stuff like lawbreakers always lose. So the original Marvel comics were actually talking about how, the police would save everybody. And like, it was kind of focused on that traditional, like bad guys versus the cops kind of thing. And so, it's like, it's something that has been done, time and again through all different, comic genres. Of course, in this case, with the focus more so on the American standards as being the norm, because you would see that type of imagery.
It's the market base.
Right.
It's who we're selling the comic to.
Right. And so it's like, I would show like Superman and say, imagine if instead of the American flag, you had the communist Chinese flag or you had the North Korean flag. If you saw that, you'd be like, hey, that's clearly, Chinese communist propaganda, or you'd be like, that's North Korean propaganda. But because it's the American flag, people just kind of accept it and have it, normalized. They just, they don't even think about it, that this is in fact a political statement. It is, something that is tying into, what is currently, the ruling regime. And, this ties back historically, like you have Superman and President Kennedy. So, throughout history, of course, Superman has gone through many different presidential encounters over time. And of course, with him saying, I realized that, sir, I knew if I wasn't risking my secret identity with you, after all, if I can't trust the president of the United States, who can I trust, right? If he can't trust Kennedy, who can he trust? These types of tropes are really, built into this quite deeply. I mean, in fact, Superman, of course, has met Ronald Reagan and has helped Ronald Reagan out too. So it's nothing, it's nothing new. And what's really extra funny too is that even throughout time, there was some stuff with SJW stuff going on early. I show this to people, how Superman here is talking to a guy and he says, you're trying to overcompensate for something with that gun of yours, fella, right? And it's like he's making a pee-pee joke about a guy with a gun, right? Knocking gun stuff. And in my series, I'm very like pro-gun, like, and so I, that kind of stuff would never be in my series. I'm very much like, good use of guns. And of course you could tell the politics too of the person because he has his finger on the trigger. So it's, exactly like the no step on snake image. So it's really fun to go through this because I like to show people exactly, what's going on.
The thing is that a good writer will make the message a part of the story. A political activist will make the message the story.
Right, exactly.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, we can have a little cheap shot here and there, a little shot, but if every page keeps talking about the message and not the action and the little short story arc with like this villain or that villain or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, man, they ruined it for me. Because look, I like to read. I've been reading all my life, and I love books where you don't get taken out of the story.
Right.
Okay. And sometimes some people just write stupid to take me out of their story, and then I'm like, now I gotta sit down for a little while and then come back and try to get back into the story again.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about just political stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of stupid things that people, bad context or bad grammar or bad punctuation or spelling mistakes, all that kind of stuff, man, will take me right out of the story. A misspelled word in a book, comic book, novel, anything, in a freaking newspaper article, a misspelled word comes out at me like it's bold, like it's in a completely different font, it's underlined, it's italicized, it jumps out of the page at me like, look, I'm spelled wrong. You know what I mean? And it's like, it'll take me right out of the story.
Right.
Just little stuff like that. So I'm huge on having a solid editor, on more than one proofreader. I'm huge on all those production things too, because sometimes it's not the message. I mean, sometimes it is, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it can be anything. You want a story to flow perfectly all the way through, beginning to end. You don't want people to go, oh, what was that?
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it's just something that, with the turn of Marvel and DC and what they do, they're all in one direction too. So
that's a horrible cover. I'm sorry.
if you're gonna find any of this stuff being more promoted, it's also just one direction within the mainstream. So it's something that
I have a cover of Mary Jane as Supergirl carrying Spider-Man, me as Spider-Man away. I had a friend draw it for me. It was cool. I've had people draw a whole bunch of cool stuff for me, but that's one of them. That's my favorites. Now, who's he talking to there? I forget who she was.
Oh, in this panel here?
Yeah,
So this is just a panel. So this is from Invincible here, and that's with his girlfriend.
Okay.
But one of the things I also point to too is like in how they write the subtext. A very common trope is that they'll associate the word anarchy with chaos, right? So they say here, if something isn't done soon, trillions of lives could be lost. The whole system could break apart into anarchy. So the language that's used in many comic books also itself has its own coloring to the political view or the norms and how it's delivered. And this is something that goes across history and time. Like, for example, this is Luke Cage here. This is a very old a panel here, but it says, "I believe in the law, Lucas. Without it, we'd have anarchy, chaos." So it's again, like, people don't realize it because maybe when they read it and they were younger, it just kind of maybe went over their heads and they just kind of assumed it, for the sake of reading through. But it's been there the whole time. And just now, as you said very accurately, the subtext has now become the main text. Like it's become where it's the main point of the story instead of just like a little bit of character banter. So
and that's what I mean. That's when I lose. That's when I lose it. It's like and it's not always. Sometimes it's getting like, if it gets preachy, sometimes it's like you need to like really look at this point of view, and it's like, look, that's not my point of view. I don't have to look at, I mean, we all have free will, right? We all can figure all this stuff all on our own. We don't need, somebody to tell us. That's why we had parents when we were little, and hopefully they instilled proper right and wrong and that kind of stuff in us at a young age. It isn't something that we had to learn from our comic books at 14.
And sadly, many people, even with some good parenting, they get confused on those basic truths. Just like, don't hurt other people and don't take their stuff, because in school, especially compulsory state school, a lot of young people are brought to believe that the government can do things that you as an individual can't. And even though like they're supposed to have powers delegated from individuals, right? How are they getting the power to steal, and to murder and things like that, and to conscript people? When you as an individual didn't have that right in the first place to give them. So things like that, I like to, challenge people on philosophically, but make it in a much more entertaining way, and really, bring in a dose of truth and reality with, of course, an engaging story. So
what do you call this group, this pantheon of heroes right here?
So this is just like a little bit of the voluntarists. Some of the hero group is just like a little art piece, just giving people a little demonstration of some of the characters. But in the center, you have voluntarists there, and you have on the left, viewer left to him, you have like Ann Cat, and then Ann Kid, and then you have Philosophy, Agora, Mackley in the green shirt. Above voluntarists is Volarchist. Then you have Voluntaria, Libertarian in that kind of a stripe shirt. There's actually a cosplay of the Philosopher that's on this campaign too, a cosplay card with that character. So, and you have Volimer, and then you have a Voluntaria. So there's quite a few characters there that are from the series.
Nice. So you've been doing it for 10 years. Obviously, you have a universe now. You got the good guys, you got the bad guys, you got it all pretty much figured out. Who's the Tyrannosaurus Rex? What's up with that?
So that's Directorate. That's there's multiple of those creatures. It's a government kind of you could say cyborg creature. So
okay.
Organic and also mechanical parts. But
I like it.
Thank you.
We're definitely, look, you need to join the madness so that I can stay up to date with what you're doing. We like to highlight, even through fulfillment, if you want to come out and talk about, look, everybody, we're packaging books up today. Come out and tell us, but for sure in the future, my friend, you got to let us know when you're doing stuff so that we can promote you from the beginning. I wish I'd have known about this 58 days ago.
Well, I really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm glad RJ connected us for this. So it's awesome to see lots of people who are of like mind in that way and are interested in projects that are drifted away from that nonsense coming out of the mainstream. So,
man, I'm telling you what, some of it kills me. I ain't gonna lie. I'm down to the point where the only book I'm actually reading out of the mainstream right now is Savage Avengers.
Oh.
I kind of liked the first run of it. I like Elektra and Wolverine and Conan, and they kind of didn't water them down. And the the interaction between Conan and Punisher was hilarious. And, you know, I mean, they kind of, whoever was writing it, I don't even pay attention. I mean, because it's mainstream. But whoever was writing that was doing okay. So they started a second run of it. And I read the first two. Some different characters. Deathlock's in there, Cloak and Dagger in there. I'm wondering, though, now they've kind of put characters in there that they've tweaked on. And this one might not be as good as the first run was, because, I mean, it's kind of hard to mess with Conan, the Punisher, the Wolverine.
Right.
You know, they watered down Elektra when they made that first movie, so that was already damaged goods. But, you know, Elektra's my third favorite comic book character.
How come?
Because she was a badass in the comics. Oh man, they watered her down so bad in the books, dude. You know, I mean, the original Frank Miller stuff with Daredevil and everything, that was all good. And the Elektra Assassin series, the 8-book series, that was where I first ran into her. That stuff's real good. So, you know, if you've never read that, Elektra Assassin is something you should check out. But
yeah, that's
way back before they messed everything up. You know, I'm just saying.
Right.
You know, there's I mourn some of the characters I'll never see written right again. You know? Because I think they'll fold before they ever fix it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it doesn't seem like they're willing to, backtrack at all. So they're just going to keep running into the ground.
And that was me freezing. We had a storm last week, man. It took the power out for 3 days. And although the power company came out and fixed their lines, Comcast didn't do. My connection freezes about every 15 minutes now.
Oh, that's painful.
You know, just for a couple seconds, but just enough to I'll ask a question and then I'll be, oh, I missed the answer to that one. Just play it off. Go ahead. It's worse playing video games. So.
Yeah, that would be not good when you're trying to snipe somebody.
Oh, you get all the way down. 15 minutes to get down to the bottom of this dungeon, right? Fighting. Oh, there's the boss. All right, I'm gonna whoop him. I'm beating him. And then I'm froze. And he goes tat while I'm froze, and I come back laying on the ground. You are dead. You know, and it's like, oh, Comcast, fix my line. So I'm assuming this is early character development for this one, or
this is a Vollencap. So this is a 3D rendering that was made for the virtual reality game VR Chat. So we had characters made, Voluntarius and Vollencap, for that game, so you could actually play with those characters in 3D, and they're they have action stuff like the gun shoots and their Voluntarius hand blasts and stuff like that.
You said virtual reality game, right? That's what you said.
Yeah, exactly.
Forget about the phone. Forget about the cards and the dice. We're going straight to you actually get to do this.
Right. You might like it because your hat, the no step on Sneck.
Hey, this is my golf hat. If it's not windy, if it's windy, I have to wear this one. Usually, I like to wear the big hat from the graphic. I like to wear that because it keeps the sun off me when I'm out there on the golf course. But if it's windy, it's laying over there.
Gotcha.
So when it's windy, I wear my "Don't Tread on Me" hat. It's like land of the free, baby, home of the brave. That's that's what we're supposed to be, and what we're supposed to aspire to be. That's what's killing me. It's like nobody wants to be the land of the free. Just let the government tell us what to do all the time. Yeah. Woo.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, and that's definitely a theme in my series. What we challenge in a way that's not done like in anything else you ever seen. So the idea of this omnipotent state is absolutely challenged through the character development, through the actions, and I think that for many people they might actually find it kind of interesting when they read through, because my series is meant to make people question what exactly is fiction and what might possibly be real. And that blending between fiction and reality, I think is a big driver of the interest in kind of what the series has. And I'll show you here real quick, just to give you a little sampling of something on an inside page. This might give you a sampling of some of the things that are covered or talked about within the series. So again, it's stuff that kind of will intrigue you and make you go, huh, what is that? And maybe search some things up and start down a little rabbit trail of information. But it's a part of the story. It's integral in terms of the characters. It's something that, defines them. It's something that is a part of their backstory, because Mac Lee here is actually a government agent who decides to defect and help out Jack. So you can kind of see there a little bit of that symbolism that's inferencing exactly what is coming up in the story and what they're facing. So pretty wild stuff.
I would like to say that I heard all of that, but I had dogs going crazy. They're still going crazy.
And now a kid's going crazy.
I think the kids are egging the dogs on. Is what's happening.
Yeah, definitely.
That was Rocky. That's what I was expecting down here earlier, and he didn't give me nothing. He's up there talking to kids, So these are 6 covers from the first 6 books, or?
So yeah, these covers are from the first 6 is the origin story books, the canon origin story. The second one there is a remastered cover. We're going to be remastering the first issue, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th here. The 6 covers already been done, so that was done for this campaign, but that's a part of this series too. So this campaign itself is very monumental because it is also helping to kind of reformat things for more mainstream appeal, especially with the covers. So we've already achieved pretty much all of it in terms of the funding, but we are still one stretch goal away from like doing 100% kind of revamping of the whole series. So that's what we're trying to push in these last couple of days, get a little bit more support. If we could hit that 18K, we're going to be able to have a 100% kind of remastering everything, bring it all up into a beautified, uniform, one style production. So
yeah, man, I'm down with this. I wish I had a big old chunk of money. What do we got here? What do we got for actual cost? What's going on? Print copy, $35. Shipped or estimated shipping on estimated shipping on top of it. How many pages is that total?
So the comic here is a 24-page comic, and then plus, there's some ads and stuff like that. So with that particular perk, you get the comic, stickers, and an art card along with the digital. So you get the print comic and a couple other goodies. Plus now, because we've already unlocked other stretch goals, you're also, if you're getting the print comic, you're going to get the bonus art print, a bonus art card, and a bonus sticker on top of that because we hit goal and hit 2 stretch goals. And if we hit the 3rd stretch goal, then on top of that, you're going to get another bonus art print in addition to all that. So right now, anyone who's at a physical perk backing is going to get a lot of goodies because of how far we've come.
All right. So sticker in the digital for 15.
Yep.
Large sticker in digital. What's the large sticker of the logo right there? What is it?
It'll be a different design. So I have a number of different voluntarist oriented stickers. They're, either something of the logo style or it might be a character. So we mix it up, match it up, and that will also get a bonus sticker as well for hitting goal. So those sticker perks will get one of the bonus stickers too.
Got game cards, art prints.
So each one of these, if you click it once, you can kind of see it drops down. So if you let's just say you click once on it, see it'll show you all the included items in the perk. So if you get a signed per comic, it also comes with a digital comic, small sticker, large sticker, art card, game card, art print, the signed comic, and then of course the 2 bonus items, which is another game card, another art print, and the bonus sticker. So that these are, big sets of items.
And this is the one that's got it all.
So that will have
the whole story.
Yeah, if you get the trade paperback, you get the 1 through 6 issues plus all the bonus stuff and all the extras. Yes, exactly. And I do run my campaigns are fundraisers. I know some people, and it's especially is easier to do this if you're like the primary artist, like if you're doing pencils inks, they're able to offer it a little bit cheaper because it's kind of like a pre-sale thing. But for me, since I'm just the writer and the letterer, a lot of the expense, I need to raise in order to actually pay the artists who are doing the pencils, inks, and the colors and stuff like that. So it is, a little bit higher premium, but I do print with Kablam, and I do, kind of cater to that higher end because the comics that I do are very high quality. We're talking like ink that almost, comes off the page. It's very high quality material. So I could do cheaper stuff over in China or something like that, but no, I do it's American based company, and that company, has really incredible printing process, colors, and quality of pages. So
cool. And that centerfold executive ad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you allowed to tell who grabbed that?
I can say that they're an advertiser. That's someone who really has been a big time fan and follower. And that ad is getting everything plus included with it was a special day consultation thing. So helping them on a project kind of thing. So it was like a very special perk, a limited edition perk with that.
Get a double page ad with all the stuff. You can get a single page ad with all the stuff. It never hurts. It never hurts to make ad space available. I will tell you though, it changes the page layouts. You might end up having to put one page of ad for something in-house of your own just to make all your page layouts land in the right place. If you get an odd number or something.
Well, for me at least, I fortunately have other projects and things I could promote. So if I ever do have that problem, I throw up another on my own page that is promoting something else to do, like a new song or a new project or something like that. So, but yeah.
We ran into that in ours. It was like, okay, if we put an ad here, it's going to change everything if we only use one page.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to change the layout of the whole book, right?
Yeah. Fortunately for me, it's pretty easy to navigate, at least the way Kablam does it. So they're I recommend them. They're great. I've used them for the whole 10 years, and I've had nothing but success with them. So
I will say I was mad with something they shipped me.
Oh yeah, what happened?
Well, I mean, it came in a Gemini and everything, but it was all loose in the Gemini, just bouncing around in there. No bubble wrap, no tape down, nothing. It was like, I was like, come on, guys, a little bit of tape, a little effort, something.
That happened. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I dealt with them. I talked to them about it. No, it's what can you do? It's big business. You got 1 million freaking books to ship out. It's like, and you hire people that package books, right? It's like.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully they respect the product they're packing in the Gemini. That's all you can hope for.
Yeah.
I myself, I respect them all. I really like this. I hope you get a couple more backers. I'm gonna leave this up for the rest of the week as the featured video on my channel because I ain't doing nothing for the rest of the week.
We do have on the closing night this Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, we're doing a live stream close for the campaign. And me and the philosopher are going to be doing this hot, I guess you could say pepper / spicy celery. I don't know. We're doing a bunch of spicy things in our mouths with this wheel spinning challenge. So we often do hot challenges at fundraisers. So if you want to see us cry and possibly end up on the toilet while we finish out the campaign.
We love that kind of stuff around here. You got to drop that link in the madness so that my friends can watch, because we've had people out here eating the devil's toe, Satan's toe, the sucker, the super hot sucker. We've had them. Nita and Meredith did a pepper challenge where they were eating Carolina, the hot, super hot, and they were seeing who could eat the most.
Yeah.
It was bad. Okay, they were both hurting, right? But dude, like troopers. Just we've had Rich Perotta shave his head on this show after his closeout stream because he made the goal he was trying to get to.
Oh wow, that's
he shaved his head right there on the show. We've had it all, man. So yeah, we like that kind of stuff for sure. It's entertainment.
It is. I try to give people something that they'll at least remember no matter what. So I sent you that link, that private chat, the link to the actual hot sauce live stream challenge.
Heck, let's just put this right in the chat, sir. But that's another thing. If you would do me a favor, Jack, go to the YouTube channel, go to the chat and just say something so I can give you a wrench. Then it doesn't matter what I'm doing, what kind of show I'm doing. I give everybody a wrench. That way you can come drop your link in the chat during the show, no matter what I'm doing. Okay, I encourage everybody to do that because I want everybody to get seen. Like I said in the beginning, my job is getting eyes on what you guys do. Okay, so there's the link right there I just dropped for that show. That's going to be Thursday night. But by all means, man, yeah, there you go. Say something in the chat so that I can give you a wrench. So that anytime I'm live, just pop in. Say, hey, y'all, check out what we're doing here, or check this out, or, join our channel, whatever.
Right.
I'm also a big promoter of other podcasters, obviously, RJ and I, and Raging. Oh, yeah, you got to get a hold of Nita Lanning at Raging. You got to get out in front of her audience, too.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, definitely let me know who that is, and I'll check out their show. Yes.
She's creating chaos 24/7 on Twitter. I think it's okay. She has a nice network. They do like 8 or 10 different shows throughout the week, but you've only got a couple days left. So it's like, she also has a Facebook group, Raging AVC Promotions.
Awesome.
And you can go drop your link there anytime, Like I said, this is, I wish I'd have found out about you earlier, man, because I could have got you in front of a lot of people before this thing was over. No mistakes next time.
Well, we're definitely not done here because this is a forever going series. It not only does it have, kind of the mainline universe, but there's a bunch of other different storylines, and there's stuff that happens before the main arc is, even over and things like that. So this is quite a expandable universe, you could say. So I'm going to be doing this till I'm dead. So
I like to say things like this. This, my friends, is not a Clown Work production. Clown World production. This is actually the way things are supposed to be, right?
Right.
I
like that.
So much of what's out there right now is just Clown World, man.
And it is Clown Work. I agree. I like that. Clown Work. That's a good read.
Yeah, well, Clown Work in a Clown World, Jack, it was great meeting you.
Uh-oh. Looks like we lost it for a second there.
That's where I do my everyday work, is in the madness on Facebook. So join that group so that we can be promoting what you're doing, getting it out there. And so that people can get to know you, because you're new to all us, man. Brian, everybody in the chat, thanks for watching. RJ, thanks for hooking me up with Jack. You know what's up. Keep the flow going, man. Keep everybody, get eyes on everybody that's worthy of comic book fans.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Pops.
You bet, man. Anytime. Like I said, I'm going to play a couple commercials on my way out. You guys go check this out. You have to go check this out before it's over. Share it, retweet it, get it in front of as many people as possible. That's what we do. There it is. There's the link. Go check it out, everybody. Link's also in the description. Thanks to everybody who's watching, retweeting, sharing, doing all those things, because without you guys, I'm just talking to dead air, yo. What's up? I don't know if you know about, we have friends that do all kinds of stuff. This is one of my good friends. He does custom shoes. He did a pair of shoes for Mike Barron not that long ago. Where are they? I don't even have the picture here, do I? Well, there's one of them. That Punisher shoes. That's not the ones he did for Mike. He did those for somebody else, but he makes custom, and these are wearable. You can bend the crap out of it. They don't crack. There's no, and they're all hand custom made. And that's our boy Nick Chiapalo over there at New Genesis Designs. Y'all have a good night. Peace. Thanks for coming out, Jack.
Thanks, bye.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit